Okay, so let's get into the specs. So we're looking at a flame maple top, roasted swamp ash body, black pearl binding along the sides, sapele or sapele, however that's pronounced. 2 strips of that wood running where my fingers are right now in the back of the neck. The rest of the neck is pau ferro. You can see that black binding here. African ebony fretboard, either Macassar or Massacre, I do not remember. Hip shot locking tuners, Mobius logo. It's glued in there. It's from the top on the body, cut into an engraving. I think it's pretty cool. Luminlay side dots. I think that's all the wood and like, 2 Dunlop locking strap locks. It's a tongue twister. And then like another one up here. The reason this is like f***ing awesome is because of this. Just put it on the ground and just set it against whatever. You don't have to go through like balancing like your guitar on the one peg on the very bottom of it and throwing it up against like the corner of your room or something like that. So it's useful, like especially like if you don't like, I don't have any guitar stands because I'm in South Korea right now and I'm just here like teaching English for a year before I come back home, which will be like in September or like late August. Yeah, so it's really useful for me to have. I guess other hardware, we're looking at Oil City. I believe they're called Blackbird pickups, and this is a custom made single. The single is essentially like the, how can I say this? It's basically like if the Blackbird was a single, that's all it is. We have a volume knob, 5-way switch, Wilkinson trem bridge that was custom milled to fit the thickness of the body, Chris was saying. I should also add that the body has chambering in it, not to like the same degree a Strandberg does, but still chambering in it to reduce the weight. And then maybe there's sonic qualities of that, I don't really know. And then this contraption here for changing the spring tension, and the springs Chris also put inside of them like foam cylindrical tubes that dampen the sound. Never heard them come up in any recordings or like through my Yamaha right there. So I think that's all the specs. And then for like details on the neck and body, the body has a bunch of carbs in it that are like so comfortable, like I can't even begin to describe. I almost forgot. Right here, this is where you put your output jack. You have 2 different options. So depending on what's the best fit for like what, strap lock you're using, or if you're using a right angled jack or a straight jack, like these are sick. And like there's no change in output depending on which jack you use. So they both have the same output, which is really nice that they're consistent. Okay, so really quick before I talk about the neck itself, you should know my preferences lean more towards like Sir Moderns or Strandberg or an Ibanez RG652 Prestige. Those have been my favorite necks I've played, and this neck essentially just blows them all out of the water. So maybe a Jackson Soloist feels amazing. I don't know. I've never played one. Maybe a Charvel feels amazing. Again, I don't know. I've never played one. I don't really like Fenders. I don't like ESPs that much. Those preferences are just what have spoken to me and what have meshed well with me. This neck is just unbelievable. So the Strandberg neck, it essentially follows the same Endurneck design where the apex on the back of the neck is closer to the low string when you're near the nut, and as you make your way down the fretboard, the apex gradually changes location, so it shifts your thumb closer to the high strings, and that is just for keeping your wrist as straight as possible when you're playing. Makes it a lot more comfortable to play too, at least in my opinion. Maybe if I had to be critical of the guitar, I would probably say that in the wintertime here in Korea, it was very dry, and I'm on the 9th floor, and it also got pretty cold out here. And during that time, I felt as if the wood shrunk because the fret ends were definitely bothersome during that time. And I am being extremely critical when I say that. Like, when I say bothersome, this is still, during that time, the most comfortable guitar I've ever played. But like, the fretwork could have been better. That would be my only complaint, but with proper maintenance, like actually oiling the neck when I restring, like semi-annually, and with the weather warming up, like the wood is normal again. Like, it was made in California, right? So it was hot where it was made, and then come to Korea, it's a little colder, especially during the winter time. So it would make sense the wood shrunk. Right now, the fret ends being exposed, that is non-existent at the moment. So that is that, and I guess I'll talk about pricing next. Okay, so then the last thing I want to touch on is price, right? So the price of this was $3,300 USD, between 33 and 34, I believe. And compared to my Strandberg Bode Infusion, I got that Bode Infusion as a B stock model, which runs about 2,100. I know the regular stock option for the Bode Infusion 6 is, I believe, 2,400 to 2,500. But even then, in my case, that's a price jump of 12 to 1,300 USD, which is a significant amount of money. I mean, you could buy a used AXFX floor unit, like I think the AX8 is what it's called, or you could buy like just like really nice like gear for your rig, or you could even buy like another guitar like with that extra cash. So it is a significant amount of extra money, but in terms of like overall quality of the instrument, I've already like nerded out about that enough, and I cannot like stress enough how perfect everything is here. And in terms of customer buying experience, it was like as if he was as excited to get me this guitar as I was to get it. Like, he would text me like updates about like, hey man, like you know, this top that we originally picked, weren't really feeling it, or like something happened, like we're handpicking, like I'm gonna handpick you like something new that's better. And he's like stoked about like, you know, the wood choices on this thing, or he was when he was making it. And you know, he did a lot of new things here. Like, he put like this inlay in on the fretboard, which he usually doesn't do, he told me. And he did like this trem, which he usually doesn't do as well. And I mean, he was just always giving me updates. He would tell me if there were any delays, like what was going on, like whether he was like moving or whatever it might have been. Yeah, he was just super open. And even like when I went to pick up the guitar on my way to Korea, I stopped in California and, you know, met him and like met his wife, and we went to a park with his cute dog, and we were eating some pizza, and like it was like a fucking good time. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like overall buying experience, obviously like I say that with like, you know, I hope that if anyone watches this video who's on the fence about buying a Mobius, I don't think it's reasonable to expect to like meet your guitar builder and like eat pizza, drink beers with them. But like, maybe it's a possibility, but like in my situation, I was already traveling and I, you know, was leaving the country, and he was like, whatever, dude. So, but yeah, in terms of buying experience, like he was very straightforward and very open and very friendly and professional all at the same time. 3300 is with like decked out wood options, like a custom milled bridge from Wilkinson, a custom wound single pickup from Oil City. And I guarantee, like if you did like HH, or like maybe if you're like a single humbucker type of player with like a hardtail bridge with maybe more conservative wood options, you probably would spend 3,300. I don't want to say that, like I don't know what he would charge. I just can tell you my experience, and my experience was amazing with it. Like I wouldn't change anything. I'd go back and do it all over again. So I think everything's recording now, so I'm just gonna go to mobiusguitars.com. So here you can see his 8-string Jenova, 6-string Cetra, or Citra model. So you can literally just go here, contact for pricing. It's really simple order form. First name, last name, email, subject message. You can write like a Jenova 6-string inquiry, and like write whatever message you got about like next maybe. If we go look at the models, you got 2 to pick from: the Citra, the Jenova. Honestly, if I ever get another Mobius in the future, I will get a Citra. It just looks fucking awesome. Talks about the outputs. Like, these are all his designs. They're all patent pending. His thigh contours and asymmetrical neck carve. All patent pending. All really, really cool stuff. We go to his gallery. There is my baby. So we got pictures up of all this shit. This is a custom Citra he did. I forget who it was for. Oh man, that looks fucking awesome. That looks really, really cool. What kind of bridge is on there? I wonder how you adjust like intonation with those bridges, with those like old school like 3-prong like tele bridges. And these are the models he made for NAMM a while ago. It's really, really slick too. Oh, this is Ryan's from Misery Signals. This is a really, really, really awesome top he's got on there too. This is awesome. I want to say that's I forget the company that makes those bridges, but Chris ordered like hordes of those bridges. So he doesn't really update his website as much as he updates his Facebook page. So this will go there next. Oakland, California. And yeah, see, like March 25th. So he's got that updated, like, you know, it's March 28th right now in Korea. So yeah, and I mean, I have been, you know, I do try and help him as much as I can. Not as like a sort of endorsement thing, but more just like as a friend. Like, he was really, really nice with me, and he was just a fucking like just a stand-up dude. Like I'd help him with anything if I could. There is that like whole aspect of you know, like customer and like the seller. Like, of course that still kind of exists, that dynamic, but like that like really faded over the course of like the building of the guitar. So this is a really, really sick trim right here too. Oh, look at that guitar. Ooh, that's nice. I want something like that. I like that cutaway too. All right, that's it. Thanks. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comments. It helps out the algorithm, and I'll get back to all of them. You know, I don't have a big following, and I don't think a lot of people are gonna watch the video anyway. And yeah, thanks for watching.